So today I had a huge day, and if you can see, I got some stuff. So there you go. I'm officially U.S. citizen, and I got a voter's register for voter. So that I think is the best time to start this pattern. So this design is for women's voting, and I definitely will be voting next time I'm available. So I'll just need to wait until it comes my voter's card in the mail. But I am officially registered, and the ceremony was more than I expected. It was like 60 of us, and from I think like 37 countries, and a lot of the us were a bit older people, not like in the 20s or so. And there, I might insert a picture. There were several judges. There was Marshall, and I can't remember what the other guy's position was. So there was United States district judges, attorneys, and more judges were marshal, like I said, and uh, there were courtroom deputies. So there were singing. There were had to go make sure green cards were taken beforehand. We all had assigned seats, and they called one by one later on. It was a lot of moving speeches given, of course. And it was interesting that they had a constantly running screen with everybody's names, and from which country they were, and their country's flag posted, and then right after, with the same name, with the U.S. flag posted, like they could show. So I had family and friends over, and most of them had been first time only at the oath ceremony, and they were impressed, and that was beautiful. So I thought I should start on this project, even put in a couple of stitches, because of I received my voter's card. So this is, as you can see, Suffrage Act, and there's some colors I already pulled out, and I will be pulling a couple more that needed. And I decided to use this fabric by Needle Blink Designs, 32 count. So I'm gonna start. So this is how much I've done. On the first night, I just managed to stitch this little star that was about the middle of the design. So I kind of went in and did this one, and then it was way too tired to stitch afterwards. And the rest of that I've done the following day. And as you can see, like quite a bit of parts are done. I even outlined the lady's dress, so everything inside will be just filled in, except there's going to be one color filled in this part that is different than a dress. And just started to go up and around, and the words are going to be all above, but I just wanted to kind of finish off this area, and then once I'm done there, then I'll move my hoop and then continue the next area. So I'm trying out the hoops again, and that's easier to carry around than like a bigger scrolls. So for small projects like this, I think the hoops are great. So I always enjoy playing around with different things, like colors, like where to stitch. For example, if it's over dyed threads, should I go like all 5, for example, in here and come back like with DMC, or should I do each individually closing, which is typical for the over dyed threads, but also for different, you don't go like a full row like this and that, so you could do mix up, even like especially gonna be in here. I can't just do even closing in, because it might make like a rose if the color slightly changes. So I'll be doing like a wiggly stuff like I did approximately in here. So I think it's enough of was the second and the third of July stitching for this. So I think I've put a good start, and I'll be pulling it out sometime later. So I don't think it would take that much more to stitch, but we'll see. So here's my new start and the progress. Well, a happy birthday, America, I can say as a full citizen, first time celebrating in this fashion. And what is the best ways to celebrate if not the pattern that says happy birthday, America? So this is what I'm planning to start today, the 4th of July. And it's gonna get harder to see because of the lamp. So I'll be stitching this part right here, the top. I don't have this fabric. I don't know how I'm gonna do. Maybe I'll just do like an ornament only, or not sure yet, but it's a small piece, so I'm sure it should not take a super long time to stitch, but I want to stitch on it today, the 4th. And it was suggested by Brenda to stitch on 36 count fabric, and I picked this that I had, and the name was a Needle Blink Design Heirloom, and that's what I'm gonna start. I have all the needed threads, mostly wigs that works, and I think it's also gassed in there. So I want to start while hopefully it won't be any fireworks yet, because the dog was going crazy yesterday when our neighbors decided to do almost at midnight, practically in our backyard. So wanted to start this, and that's going to be interesting to stitch those specialty stitches here. So let's start. It's right by our house. It's almost midnight. Well, today is what, already 9th of July, and we came back from the trip last night in evening. So we took off Sunday, and I decided to bring this piece just in case if I have time to stitch. We traveled through Chicago, stopped at a Lithuanian store, got some candy and like a smoked tenderloins, which are very delicious. We always get like a whole piece that is cold smoke, and got some stuff, and then traveled to stay at husband's cousin's house. He was generous, providing us a space, and we stopped also, had dinner at my friend's place nearby, and our goddaughter just graduated high school. Her 18th birthday was coming up, so we had a card that we want to see all of them and find out what the changes in their family was, and who's going into to where and moving out, etc. And of course, we spent quite a bit of time with that cousin and his son at their house talking for those several days. And on Monday, we had a funeral mass, which was like celebration of life because a friend's father passed away several weeks, I think, ago already in Hawaii, and his ashes were brought in here, and we figured out why it was supposed to be on the 7th. It was actually his, would have been his, I think, if I remember correctly, 92nd birthday. So they decided to celebrate his life and passing on his actual birthday. So it was sad, but good time to meet with friends, all four, what I call like musketeers. My husband and his three friends from practically grade school all met up there, and we tried to catch up on our families and kids and trips and the futures, and met the bride to be of one of those friends' son, getting married in end of September, and we're gonna go. It's near Detroit, so it's gonna be a long driving trip for us. But we chatted there and had lunch on at like a golf club house near the Lake Michigan, and it's beautiful. They're perfect. Gentle breeze was going through, and uh, drove by Lakeshore Drive in Michigan City, their area, to look at the water. Didn't have time to stop by and dip my toes in the water. I was so sad about it. And weather was crazy. Could be part of the your yard pouring rain, and part is like a sunny. So it was like that all the way last night, coming home, all the way down towards St. Louis, constructions, and then pouring rain, and again sunshine, and so double rainbow, practically a whole piece. I'm gonna try to insert some pictures, but on the way home we also stopped by one of the husband's aunts. She's his mom's brother's wife, and we just tried to catch up again after a long time not seeing each other. So had lunch together, and once we saw like dark clouds coming in from one side, like it's time to take off all the way home. So came home very tired, and I did not go today, this morning, to the Stitchy get together, because I was still feeling tired from a trip. So I decided to kind of catch up on the house and see what the kids were up to. And I stitched, as you see, on this piece, because I thought this would be great to take with me. A small piece, so just been filling in all around here. So not a lot, but it's better than nothing, right? So we'll see. I think I'm gonna set aside, and when I go again to stitch group or just doctor's appointments, I might actually bring one of this piece or Happy Birthday America with me. So it's slowly going to be stitched. It's not going to be put away very far, but I just wanted to give you some updates. And let's see what else. Right now, the weather is nice, still humid as always in this area, but it's nice. So, suffrage is gonna be sitting aside for a while, and I'll pull out something else to stitch for a few days. And I've decided to pull out my Baltic Sea Mandala or Aussie. You got very like a whited out, bleached out version of it. So it might be, it's still darkened than you see and much more prettier. So I'm gonna be working on that a little bit. I'm hoping at least a couple days to fill in. So I don't know where exactly I'm gonna work. Probably will continue in this area, filling in all the stitches full and uh, some specialty stitches as you see in here that I was filling in. So just slowly getting in, and perhaps even petite stitches, as you can see those birds in the corners I started working on. So if I see the same symbol and here and like somewhere there, I probably gonna do, and slowly gonna fill in. Last time I was doing also this middle, so the grass, it's also not finished, so I might be filling this part in. We'll see how much I can do, and just fill in. So we'll meet in a couple of days with hopefully visible change, because as you can see, the whole thing is pretty big. And after stitching for 6 days, I hope you can tell some difference what I've done. So first of all, maybe we'll see what is the most visible. That it is the left side, or depends how you flip it. It could be on the right side. So I finished the frame of this, and of course it's going to be a bit on the top and below this line. And I started working more on the building and filling up like window areas in here. Then I also worked specialty stitches in this. So road stitches was done with overdyed silk. So hopefully you can see better in this way. And the same style, same thread was used in this building in here. So that's what I've done. I think that's the most visible parts of that would be. And I also started working a little bit more on more specialty stitches. So I finished all the grass on all around that I could try. And these were pretty hard to stitch because it's not like a even, for example, we can look in here, it's not even with the axis, so in between then you have to stitch. And then just a couple fabric threads over, and you have to do those little ones like on the stick. So it was also mixing up with the grass that's growing around, but I did it. And then I stumbled upon the big one, which is a crab, and I had a paper version of this pattern, so it was a bit harder to figure out which way to stitch what. But I started with Algerian eyelets, as it said. You know, there's going to be one pair of legs also in here in between, and then in the middle it's like what you call the monstrous Jessica stitch. And in the paper version I couldn't see like a layout which stitch is first, because I've tried to see online those Jessica stitches. Maybe I could find, you know, where to start, where to go, because some of those towards the end you have to kind of go underneath the threads to go and put the stitches in. So I wanted to do as correctly, as neatly as possible, and I couldn't find like that size. It was ovals, um, shapes and the circle shapes, but not like this specific sort of like a rectanglish. And I went on Chatelain's Facebook group of for a help, and a couple ladies that responded. So they like I did a screenshot from PDF to for me to use, and I might actually do perhaps sometime later, once I get at least one of them done or a couple of done, to see how it's working. I might do like a separate video for that stitch because it's like a look like a crazy. I think it's a 60 times you have to go in into the fabric, so that's complicated. And I'm sure if you're stitching something like this, you want to look as neat as possible. So I've done 3 legs, well, like a pincers, I guess those yellow ones would be, and then leg and leg, and then another will be in between, and then a big part. Then I also looked if I missed anything, and it was like outline in here. It was, I think, Gloriana silk, beautiful color. But I thought at first maybe it's incorrect because it looks so strong color. But no, it's correct. And then outlining all these, I don't know, is that like changing huts by the beach with rainbow sparkle thread, so you can see kind of sparkle a little bit. So that's all I think I've managed to stitch. Some full stitches, some outlines, and then some specialty stitches going in. Finished some of the threads that I used. So I think I just passed like a 31%. So for this piece, if I stitch every month for about 2,700 or so stitches total, I might finish this by the end of 2027, like by the new year of that. So we'll see how much I can do each month, but it's gonna be still a long process, because after all the stitches that are done, specialty, full excess, petite stitches, and like a back stitching, then it's gonna be beading time, and all those treasures is gonna be popping out. So far I loved it so much, and I know there's quite a few like these are waiting for me to start, but I want to get this one done way more before I even consider pulling something else like this ginormous to start again. So I think I'm gonna set this aside for this month. It had enough of work, I think, and I'll be pulling something else. And this morning I had my sit and stitch for at least 4 hours and did some other things. So just finally sitting down practically at dinner time to pick this piece. I took my suffrage piece to work on during my sit and stitch. And we had all kinds of troubles. Several of them were and actually, I did two couple stitches frogging, and we were forgetting all kinds of things. So it was a very weird day for us. But I'll be continuing taking that to my sit and stitch most likely. And at home, I want to do something bigger or harder, just like this. It's a tea dragon, my second in the series that I'm stitching. And I've decided to do all of them on the black linen fabric, so it's a bit harder to do. And let's see where I'm gonna start from, so you can kind of see through a bit. And if we kind of compare side by side, I've already started full stitching on the little saucer in here, and there's going to be all those leaves, and I don't know what this is exactly. um, I, if it was coffee dragon, I would say maybe it's a coffee beans, but it's not. And then it's going to be all of this outlining, backstitching left to do. including some on the cup itself, besides the just the dragon tail. So my program is showing that I have about 4,700 stitches left. So if I can do half of that this month in July, then it would be one more month, same way, and it would be all done. So we'll see how long I'm able to stitch on this. Once I start feeling like I'm getting tired, then I'll put it away. But my goal was to finish this by the end of the year. So I'm sure I can do it even if I do less than 1,000 a month. So this is where I'm starting, and I guess I'll come back to you several days later to see and show you my progress on this tea dragon. And all the stitches are done. So right now I have almost 93% done of the whole piece. You can kind of see the paper that I have on my knees underneath the fabric, and it bounces. And of course, everything here is much brighter for you, much lighter color than in reality, because this is totally black, like 310, and it looks kind of grayish through the camera. But all the stitches are done, all full stitches, half stitches, quarter stitches are finished. So what I have left is just like 18 French knots to do and the back stitching. So that would make just over 1,300 crosses if you converted those half stitch, back stitching and French knots into it. So I don't know. I might actually continue because I can smell practically the finish line. So you're already ahead, and it would be great to have another finish. This was also one of the bigger ones that I needed to do to finish by the end of this year. So just mostly it seems like I'm working from the biggest pieces, and then at the end I might have like the smallest amount left to do to finish. But that's great because as you know, the bigger pieces takes much longer to finish. So that's what I've been trying to conquer, and I don't know how much more time I'm gonna have for this. And it's weekend coming up, and I wanted to get this done. So at least partial, I'm gonna start, but you can see how bland this is right now, and we'll see probably in the second for you, and probably several days for me, how it looks after all the things are outlined and the French knots put in the blooms. So here is before, and let's see what's going to be after. I feel like I'm in the fairylands. Look at all the mushrooms, just it's like all over my yard. Mushroom field. And you can't eat them, they're just so tiny. Oh my gosh. And I looked at all information online, and after I finished my tea dragon, I've noticed that I worked about 32 or 33 days in total since May of 2022. So it took me just over 3 years, and worked just a tiny bit over 1 month in total to do these. And that would be about a total about what 18,027 maybe stitches, with the half stitches, quarter stitches, and the back stitching converted. So let's see how it turned out. Right now I just took it off the frame, and I put it on a piece of paper and on the carpet. So there's still dog hair probably all around, but here it is. The bottom is all done and outlined, and this line I looked a couple times, make sure that it's supposed to be like this, broken up, and it is, and the same way is here. Like you can see, there's a lot of outlining happened in here. And here you go, a bunch of more threads. And I have not washed it, literally just took it off my frame. And I wanted to show it to you. So the French knots were done in these two flower buds. So I've done that. It was easy to do, of course. And when I looked at the picture, this outline, of course, it looks slightly lighter than what I looked like originally, because the background fabric is black, and this lighter color, it looks darker. So everything is slightly different. Like you can see, the head itself is like this and in here, but I love how it turned out on the black fabric. And again, it's showing a little bit brighter color than what's naturally that I could see, but it's still pretty good to look at. So if I could say so myself, I'm very happy that I was able to finish it. So there's two more dragons left to do in the series, because I bought at that time all four drink dragons. I need to find my first one and see where I put my like initials in the year, and then I would do the same in here after I wash it. And maybe at the end of the year review, I might do more up close pictures. Well, you can see the bee in here with the little French knot, and here's a little bit French knot. So amazing how I'm so happy to see this, and I can't wait to have them all framed and like hanging side by side, staring at me. And hopefully by next dragon year, I will have them all done and FFO'd. So yeah, it's all done. Took 3 years, over 3 years to do that a little bit. So each year I took, I think first year I had only one time I grabbed it. And then in 2023, I had maybe two times, and one time in 24, and several times in 25, because that was my goal, to finish this piece, and it's done. And I think it's about time for me to actually work on next piece that I started practically exactly a year ago, July 17 of 2024. And it's from this magazine, 1997 Autumn, The Needle Worker. And the piece is this one. It's called White and Gold Sampler by Kathy Holicky. So in the past, I've had questions because I was stuck somewhere in the instructions, and I couldn't figure out how to stitch, because like this bravo stitch right here, that it's a whole thing, and more on the bottom it says to use one thread, but when you look up close, if I can zoom in even, does not look like it's stitched with one, because let's see what I have so far. Okay, to kind of reminder myself and you. So this is what I try to do with one thread, because you can divide the thread that comes in the bobbin like these things, and then I use the whole thing in the white, and it looked like it's way too thick. So I put out the questions to you, my viewers, and several of you actually suggested to try and use like a two threads in here, because when we compare this to, where's my stitching? That's definitely way too thin looking, right? And this looks super thick compared to what it's looking like in this row. So several of you suggested for me to use two threads. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try with two threads. There's gonna be some gold involved, But all of those is from specialty stitches and using materials that I've never used before or used rarely, like this, like a velvet rope, not a rope, like a ribbon, I should say. So there's a spots in here that are left for these things to stitch. So right now I've done just 2 bands in between because I knew how to do those by the markings instructions, and that's what I was stuck is by using that, which is also being used in here. So I'm gonna try with 2, and we'll see how it looks, because this looks way too thin and this looks super thick, like in here. And I think I want more delicate, not delicacy. I guess it's lunchtime for me. So we'll see how it is gonna look, but this is what I wanna grab next, and we'll see how it goes. And the first band is done like this. So I've decided to try out with 2 threads of this 4-ply cotton. Bravo, it's called, and it says that 1-ply works as number 12 pearl cotton, and you can do with 1-ply, needlepoint, 3-ply, and 18 count. But I think I have a 25 count linen. So I took out the ones that I was trying with 1 and the 3, all bigger counts. So this is what it looks like with 2, and I think it's good enough. And I did the 2 rows of the same thing, and in between it's like a cross with golden silver mix color that I did, and it also was suggested to do beads in between in here, like uh, instead of like a hole, I was doing it had to be horizontally between 2 threads. So what I did is went between around this hole, so 1 thread here and there, and I went twice with white like a beading thread. So I did all this row, and then I started working on the 4th band. So 4th band has 3 different what you would call it, like designs, and I wanted to show you, like one of the designs is like 8 pointed, I don't know what you would call it, star. And this beautiful look is how you get from this. So the sides, these sides will be tagging along, like in here you see this would be right here, and then the sides are matching, and you go and then pull a thread, and there's going to be things in between, like a mini beads, and that is out of these 8 will be one big one like that. Then we have just the 2 sort of like Algerian eyelets, and all of that is done stitching with 1-ply. It said Bravo. So I looked and I thought this, especially these ones, very complicated, very busy design, should go with just the 1 ply of this thread. So that's what I did. And jewelry eyelets, there's going to be a little bit more also, I think, happening around. So there's only 2 of them, but then another stitch is made up out of several different things. So you do like these little like a trees, and then in between you go let's see if we can see better. In between you also go bigger, longer line, so like you can see here a little bit the tree, and then it's gonna be also added with the beads and things like that. So it's getting closer to the end. I just need to finish up this big thing and then go with the beads and sparkly thread, and then will be one more band and it will be done. But I thought I should show you the update how this beautiful 8-pointed star looks like with just one part of it done. And this linen is very pliable. You can easily move threads in between, and I usually, to start this big hole, I just put in this big thick needle and just kind of wiggle around, and it's very easy to fix it up, um, go back to the normal stage for the fabric. So this is what I'm working right now, and I thought I should share my progress. And here it is. I've finished, so it's kind of late in evening, and I have to have like a overhead light. So where's my clarity for a phone? So this is what it looks like, and I've tried not to like run across. And once I finish like doing this, I tuck underneath, go this way, and do it that way. Let's see what else. So the middle parts were with the coronet braid done, and the beads were just a regular 2 millimeter size beads. And I actually even put in my initials in the year, so it's very hard to see. Like, can you tell right here, like initials? And all the way on the other side, I tried to put in 25. So it's very hard to see actually, but if I really wanted to, I can look. So this is all done, and let's see again what I had to use for this. So again, this coronet braid, silver and gold. So this is how much I had left. Needed to use a little bit of number 8 white pearl cotton. The beads, I actually, the only one that petite gold I found that was with the number is this one. So I had to do those um, just like around these areas and a little bit right here in the middle. And these ones I just had, like from a store bought simple beads of the different kind of slightly sizes, and I needed something like a pearl, and I thought this shines kind of nicely, and just a regular kind of gold, which I was using it in different places too. So those are the beads. And then three pretty almost full, um, not it's not the skein cards of these. So super suede was used in a divider like this, and it is very suede feel for that. Then rainbow linen was used just a tiny bit. Trying to remember now where exactly. Um, hmm, hmm, hmm. I looked it up. So these pulled eyelets was used with this rainbow linen that looks very similar to the this thread. Even with the thickness, it's practically the same, don't you think? Could you tell which is which? It's practically feeling the same. Just this is linen, this is cotton threads, and Bravo was used the most, but I was splitting this up in several plies, so there's still plenty of that left, except the braid, which I think even had less. This one had 10 yards, and this is 20 yards, 5 yards, and this is Bravo is the 15 yards. So that's all of this piece, and I'm very excited that I finished it finally, that I tried these threads. I've done other projects with the linen thread. It feels slightly differently than cotton thread, but it was all kinds of specialty stitches that I was learning to do. and I don't know if I would repeat it again, but we'll need to figure out now I how to FFO this. So any suggestions besides just the um, the framing, maybe with some mats, I guess, or like could be wall hanging. I don't know if I would have a tray like this, and I don't know if I would want to make this in a pillow. Most likely it would become a frame, but it was fun to try out something totally non-X related, different types of threads, and I will continue trying something like this. Different threads, style, and texture and a shape in the future. So what are your thoughts about this project? Let me know in the comments below. And I've decided to pull out this lady's portrait for me to stitch because I also remember that she was started on July 1st of 2022. So just a little bit over 2 years, no, 3 years ago. Oh my gosh, how the time flies. So I've started this in Lithuania while visiting my parents. And she was the Queen of Poland and Grand Duchess of Lithuania, wife to Sigismund Augustus. And that was a tragic love story between them. And I thought I should have her portrait. Pattern is by Astra, and I'm stitching this on her on a 24 count Congress Stramin fabric, half stitches. It has 35 pure colors and 40 blends, even though there's a lot of brownish. So the whole frame will need to be stitched. And because I'm using white color fabric, I thought I should also stitch the background, which was not included in the pattern. And without the background, it should have about 74,219 stitches. And as you can see, I was still doing the parkings of the threads and just slowly going down just the portions of that. So I don't know if I'll be continuing doing the parking because I found the way and got used to with no parking, but I want to stitch at least for a little bit. So as you can see in the crown area it's almost all done. The stitching called jewels in here almost all done, and these are, I don't know, is that like a pearls all around happening, and then it's going to be face, but I don't know where I'm gonna go. And I figured out that the background right now, I think I want 5 stitches up, and it's going to be 5 stitches off to each side, and that will be just one color. I had put out the question before which color I should stitch background, and somebody said maybe like a very dark brown. Some were mentioning perhaps stitch black, and that's what I did because I think that should pop out the portrait itself well, just like in here. It's a black background, and you can still see all these like a it's like a braid made all around this portrait, and it looks like she was like a painted on a piece of wood or something like that. So I might just do that when I'm somewhere that I don't have to count perhaps, and just keep going at it. I know it's going to be boring, but it should go easy without me messing up maybe one of those my sit and stitch meets. But right now this is what we have, and let's see, I think that's all it is. So I wanted to stitch maybe a couple of days on this piece and push a little bit towards the end, because right now it's just under 27% done, and that's not including all the background fill in. So that's where I'm starting, and I guess I'll meet you back in a couple days. Well, I just wanted to pop in for a short update. First of all, I finished some of the threads, or where it was going too far, or it's not enough to go more, and I put it on my thread sorter. But the main thing I wanted to show you, and you probably would say, why didn't you think of it sooner, even though I knew that I should have done this, is I actually wanted to see if you can tell a difference between this and this part. So I knew that 310 black thread is a little bit thinner than some other colors. And I don't know why I didn't start doing that with three threads like you see in here. I took one extra thread and right now going over the top of previously stitched. So when you look from different angles, of course, it's going to look slightly differently, but you can really see the full darkness with three of these threads versus like a two. So I'm gonna finish filling in this, and then we'll continue, like you can see, with three threads in here already. So yeah, I don't know why I did not think of that sooner, but I guess it's not too late. It's not a huge amount that I have to go over second time, and at least it's in half stitches, not the full stitches. So this is what I'm right now doing. It's just filling it up, and then I don't know if I'll continue finishing off the threads in here, because this looks so much nicer than things hanging and covering something up. But right now my main focus is to cover this up and fill in a little bit more of the background. And this is how much or how little compared to some might be I've done in that period of time. So continue to kind of finish off the areas with the threads, or just make a good stopping point. And then what's left was this one, because I wanted to work more on a black coverage in here, because as you can see, there's going to be way more. So maybe like up to this point right here. So it's not much to the edge left on this side, but there's also going to be hundreds, I don't know how many, it gets 1,000 stitches or more. And the other side, so the same is going to be in the bottom, but I don't have to worry about bottom yet. But before I go any deeper than this, I want to be done with this area and then only roll up the frame. And for that, I need to fill up this boring but fairly fast going three threads of black stitches. And you can see kind of her face is going to start showing up in this area right here. And this is just a head cover. And next time, probably I'll be getting rid of these hanging threads and filling up also this area, because I think this black really pops out all those little things in here. So I'm happy so far what I've been able to do. Up to now, it was like a day and a half or so. So I'm gonna set this aside. My heart feels better after stitching this. I think last time I might have stitched it was a couple of years ago, or at least a year. So that's good to pull it out. And I don't know when I'm gonna pick her up again, but it will be way more stitching than what I've done this round. That's for sure. So last night, I had a crazy idea, which is when usually my crazy ideas come from, is when I lie down and I just want to start thinking of a plan. And I looked at this pattern, which is Mirabelle touching the autumn sky. And I've started this on April of 2024, so just over a year ago, and I did just a tiny bit start. And I had this crazy idea last night that I wonder if I would be able to, any of those bigger items, projects that I've started, would be able to get to the finish line by the end of the year. And I looked that this one, if I start this in July and stitch every month for minimum like 1,814 stitches, I might be able to finish it. So let's say roughly 2,000 stitches a month, and I could finish it. Uh, it's a very, very, very small start right here in the middle. That's where the outfit is, and the fabric is uh, 28 count Lugana by Silk Weaver called Chasescape, I guess, Opal. So you can see the sparkling and it looks like a sky. And these are the colors. I have not even put them on the sorter. And the colors have also, besides just plain DMCs, and a little bit of the one, two, three, four, five, six, seven blends. Um, yes, seven blends and one type of mill hill beads. That's all there's gonna be involved in this. So I thought, oh, those beautiful colors, still summery colors. Why don't I try and finish it? So would be another Mirabilia out of my um, lists of memorabilia to stitch. So that's what I've decided to do and try. And if you don't try, you won't know, right? So I'm gonna start on this, and we'll see how much I'll be able to do. Like I said, would be good to have a goal of 2,000 stitches a month until the end of the year. And this would be great to stitch on during dreary fall days, I think, except the brown ones. But these beautiful colors and pinks and purples would be great to stitch on that. So this is what I'm gonna start. And this is what I've got. I'm sure you can tell the difference, how much I've done. It's actually right now over 38%, I think like 38 and a half approximately. And I have a bright light above, so it's more bleached out view for you again, but I'm sure you can tell a difference. You can recognize the person here, face. I already started stitching the hair, the hands holding up to the swing, and like a shoes and the outfit. And I went all the way up to the top to see if I would have to roll again my frame, but it's right there, just a few stitches above. I should be able to fit in there. It's going to be a little bit harder, but I don't have to roll up my frame. So this is what it looks like. It was not easy to figure out how far in the middle of nowhere I had to do some of these, and not to show all the way through if I was stretching the thread behind it. But this fabric, I love it. I love how the stitches are fairly neat. I guess after stitching on 40 counts and 25s, 24s, this is looking ginormous to me. And you can see like a blends in here. There was a very slight, a light brown, a two-tone blend also, but mostly you can see in this kind of color. Very interesting choice, a very light lavender and like a purple colors. So similar was with the browns, couple of those very dark, very light. And this is what it's looking right now. Like I said, it's over 38% done. So I think I'm gonna set this aside for now, even though I don't want to, but uh, other project, end of the month project is waiting for me. And we'll come back to this very easy to stitch a beautiful project in the month of August. And I'll be able to hopefully stitch a good amount then too. And since it's almost the end of the month, as usual, as per usual, I'm trying to take my girl Ghost for the spin. And I had for this year um, some minimum that I try to go each month. I'm just telling that to those who maybe stumbled upon this video or kind of forgot about this piece in my previous videos. So I'm trying to do certain amount of minimum so I can finish certain portion of this pattern because it's my biggest piece. I'm stitching this on a 25 count over one with 2 threads. So you can see this is pretty much what I've done over 2 years, and it's a third year. So my goal was to finish this row, and since it's just end of July, I'm sure I can finish it by the end of the year. And I'm still reconsidering perhaps restitching this part because I think I might have gotten one of the threads incorrectly there. So it still keeps bugging me, that area. But let's go back to this month's portion. So there, I don't know how many stitches are in here altogether left, but mainly it's going to be just like a background like this with some mixed in stitches, and there might be even some singles in there because as the designer said of this pattern, that she did not work hard on cleaning up the pattern. So it would be up to me if I needed to put in some of those single stitches somewhere of the different symbol or not. But I'm just going to be continuing this, and I guess we'll meet at the very end of July to see how much I was able to stitch in this area. And today is already August 1st, and I'm happy to say that last night I managed to finish the whole section in here, and my whole row is done, and that took me 3 years to do. And so far it's only 39.8% that I've done. So as you can see, it's not much to look at in this area. And majority of this was mainly just two colors intercepting each other, and there was a little bit more different colors mixed in, especially like singles, and this is what the final result is. So I think the next I'm gonna unroll it because I can't go any further than that. So I'm gonna show you quickly how it looks like and how much more to do because it's not even half of it done. As you can see how it looks like unrolled, and then I'll look at this spot to decide what to do. But it's also a little bit darker again because I have overhead bright light. But I love how it's looking as a final result. So here it is. And here it is. I had to put it on the floor to kind of manage to lay out. So the whole hallway width, I should say, is what's taking up. And I unrolled her, and we can see what it should look like and what it is right now. So this is a full sheet of paper, and you can tell what size the whole thing is going to be. I think I have about 3 inches on each side maybe left. So what we're gonna see next is let's see, just like this part. So probably gonna be only her dress, and we'll see a lot of beautiful blue colors coming up, but that's gonna be a while, and I'm not gonna have that much of like that background wall to stitch anymore. It's gonna be lots of different color changes, so it's gonna take me a bit longer. But she looks so tiny when looking from distance, like itty bitty. And I think this will need to be replaced because it just does not look good to me. What do you guys think? I think I'm gonna be doing that next month, so you'll have time to give your thoughts about that spot. And I'm curious, what do you think overall? And let's recap the month of July of 2025. I worked on 8 pieces. 2 of them in the very beginning were brand new starts to celebrate my citizenship and America's Independence Day. And I also had 2 finishes. It's a tea dragon and white and gold sampler. So tea dragon, while it's not ginormous piece, I would say it's more medium size because I was stitching on the black, and lots and lots of back stitching had to be done, black on black. And move 1 or 2 threads, but I think the outcome was worth all that work. And that was, 2 starts to finish. That was pretty good for me, I think. And let's see, we had a trip to northern Indiana for a celebration of life trip, and meeting one of the aunts that I haven't seen probably like 20 years, so it was fun finally meeting her again. That would be from my husband's side. And the school registration is about to start for the high school here. The days were super hot, especially second part, I guess pretty much a whole month was super hot. You don't want to even go outdoors. And the daughter finished her small training at her high school to help out with tech stuff and dramas. So she's going to be working there, helping out when she can, and I'll be the driver for now. So we'll see what the August month will bring. What I'm gonna stitch is probably gonna be a few the monthly ones that we meet each month, including this Girl Ghost and some others. So we'll see what it brings in the life and the stitching of mine, and I'll tell you all about it in the next video of my August review. So I'm wondering what you thought of this piece, how it's turning out, and other pieces, especially with my finishes and new starts. So leave that in the comments below, and I think I'm gonna say until the next time. This was Jurgita saying bye-bye. Ata.